Today, we're diving into the secret sauce that brings your favorite fictional characters to life and keeps you hooked on their every move. I'm talking about character motivation and goals, the driving forces behind the choices your characters make and the journeys they undertake. By the end of this video, you'll have a crystal clear understanding of why these elements are so crucial in crafting characters that feel authentic, relatable, and engaging. Even better, you'll have some practical tools in your writing toolkit to help you develop your own character's motivations and goals with intention and depth. Let's get into it. Think about a character that you just couldn't stop thinking about long after you finished their story. What was it about them that burrowed into your heart and mind? Odds are, a big piece of that puzzle is how deeply you understood and felt invested in what made them tick, their motivations, and what they were striving for, their goals. A character's motivations are like their inner compass, guiding the decisions they make and the path they take. We're talking about the fears, desires, beliefs, and needs that have been shaped by their backstory and personality. Motivations are the why behind a character's actions, the fire in their belly that propels them forward. On the flip side, character goals are the what, the specific external things your character wants to achieve or obtain throughout the story. Goals give characters a clear sense of purpose, a target to aim for, and hurdles to overcome. They're the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, the brass ring they're stretching and struggling to grab. When you weave together a character's motivations and goals with skill and intention, you get a protagonist that feels like a living, breathing person, someone readers can relate to and root for. Just look at the arrow-slinging heroine of The Hunger Games, Katniss Everdeen. Her core motivation, the force that influences her every move, is survival, for herself and for her family. Growing up in the impoverished District 12, Katniss learned early on that she had to be tough, resourceful, and fiercely protective to keep her loved ones safe. We see this motivation in action when she volunteers to take her sister's place in the deadly Hunger Games, a hugely sacrificial choice that shows just how deeply this drive to protect and survive runs in her. And that brings us to Katniss's central goal, to win the Hunger Games and make it back home alive. This goal, born directly from her motivation of survival, gives Katniss a critical mission to accomplish, a focal point to strive for against all odds. It's a goal that's intensely personal, extremely difficult to achieve, and comes with sky-high stakes. In other words, perfect story fuel. Every choice she makes, every alliance she forms or breaks, every arrow she fires is in service of that primary goal and the motivation behind it. By making Katniss's goal and motivation both vital and intertwined, Suzanne Collins creates a protagonist that is proactive, purposeful, and leaping off the page. So how can you ensure your own characters have motivations and goals that will make readers hungry to follow their journeys? Let's break down a few key strategies. First, when it comes to character motivation, you want to dig deep into your character's psyche and history to identify the formative experiences, personality traits, needs, fears, and beliefs that drive them. Ask yourself, what does your character want more than anything else in the world, and why? What are they afraid will happen if they don't get it? What past wounds or unmet needs are they trying to heal or fulfill? The answers to these questions will help you zero in on the core motivation that should infuse every choice your character makes. Once you've got a lock on that underlying motivation, look for ways to show it through the character's actions, rather than just telling the reader about it. Let's say your character is driven by a need for acceptance due to a childhood spent being bullied and excluded. Don't just write Violet craved acceptance because she was bullied as a kid. Boring. Instead, show Violet going out of her way to make friends with a new coworker, or agonizing over the perfect birthday gift for her crush. Let her actions and choices paint a picture of that inner motivation, so readers can connect the dots themselves You can also use snippets of dialogue and internal monologue to give readers glimpses into your character's motivations without hitting them over the head. Maybe Violet confides in a friend about how she always felt like an outsider in school. Or maybe we see her mentally pump herself up before a big presentation, desperate to impress her boss and win his approval. These subtle windows into her psyche will help readers understand and empathize with the why behind her what. Now, when it comes to crafting character goals, specificity and stakes are the name of the game. A vague goal like Violet wants to be successful in her career isn't nearly as compelling as Violet wants to land a major client account to prove her worth to her skeptical boss and finally get the promotion she's been chasing for years. The more specific and personally meaningful a character's goal is, the more invested readers will be in seeing them achieve it. It's also crucial to give your character goals that are challenging to reach, with serious consequences for failure. If Violet can coast into a promotion without breaking a sweat, where's the excitement, the tension, the growth? But if landing this client is an uphill battle that will make or break her career dreams, suddenly we're leaning forward in our seats, desperate to see if she can pull it off. High difficulty and high stakes are the key to making a character's goal matter to readers. Finally, think about how you can dovetail your character's goal with the story's overall themes and conflicts. If one of your themes is the emptiness of chasing external validation, maybe Violet's pursuit of career success based on her boss's approval is setting her up for an important realization down the road. Or, if a core conflict in your story world is between individualism and conformity, perhaps Violet's goal puts her in situations where she has to choose between following the crowd or standing out. The more you can align the character's goal with the story's larger threads, the more cohesive and purposeful the narrative will feel. Ultimately, character motivations and goals are two sides of the same coin, the yin and yang of strong character development. Motivations are the why, the inner needs that steer your character's choices and evolution. Goals are the what, the external finish lines your characters are racing toward, fraught with obstacles and chances to grow. When you braid the two together, creating specific, high-stakes goals that arise from deep, rooted motivations, you'll end up with characters that are driven, dimensional, and impossible to look away from. So here's your homework. Open up the project you're working on and put your characters through the ringer. Ask yourself what experiences and personality traits have forged their core motivations. Then look at their goals. Are they clear, specific, difficult, and rife with juicy consequences? Brainstorm how you can express those motivations and goals through actions, dialogue, and inner thoughts, so they become the lifeblood of your story. The more you can develop and integrate your characters' motivations and goals, the more dynamic and compelling their journeys will be.